I would like to call the regular February Civil Service Commission meeting to order. I doubt we've got any public comments, but I gotta say it, and we don't. Under old business, the first item is the approval of the January 10th, 2022 meeting minutes. You should have those in front of you, and I will give you a moment to think about that. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Under new business, the fire department is requesting a temporary promotion for a captain. We're not gonna put their names in there anymore. We decided, to division chief until the new chief of the department is hired. Acting fire chief, come tell us what's up.
Actually, not the acting fire chief.
Okay.
Shane Holmes, battalion chief, filling in for Scott tonight.
You'll
Like
work
I said,
tonight.
I'm here tonight. So, as you all know, we do have an opening in the fire department for the fire chief's position. Scott Eaton was promoted temporarily into that position until we get that settled. The last I heard that came out from the mayor is looking at, hopefully, he would like to have someone in place by June 1st. So we're looking at having a vacancy. Scott being the fire marshal, he's moving over instead of trying to do two jobs, which he'll still be doing some. We're looking at moving a promotion up into that fire marshal position, so we have someone there that's able to take care of that office and make sure the business still runs.
Makes sense. Any discussion? I will entertain a motion, but let's leave names out of it from now on.
Move approval.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We have a discussion of a draft of a rule change for consideration to 24 months probation for new hire police officers. Chief, is this something you still want to pursue?
It is.
Do you feel like, as hard as it is to hire new policemen these days, that you're gonna put your department at a disadvantage against other departments in the area that may not require a 2-year probation?
I don't believe so. North Little Rock, it's not affecting them, and they have the same.
North Little Rock does have a 2-year?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
2-year for new hire, non-certified, and 1 year for certified officers is the way that they do theirs.
okay.
Will that be the same for yours, 2
If,
years?
if that's what the commission chooses, I would not be opposed to that at all.
That would be preferable.
That would be preferable to me too. I think we're gonna need a motion along those lines though, because that's not in here now, I don't believe.
Where, I was looking at the minutes. Where did we leave was that the one legality was?
No,
No.
no, that was a
Okay.
whole nother issue.
Okay.
Certified.
Oh, that's right.
What we don't have in there now, which I think is a good idea, as the chief said, is that would be 1 year for certified officers, 2 years probation for non-certified officers. In other words, brand spanking new. So I think we're gonna need a motion to amend that, because we did not have that in the original. Madam City Attorney, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we had that in the, what we were looking at, correct?
No, okay, so you want it to be 1 year for certified officers, 2 years for others, I guess, 2 years for other.
I like that a lot
Applicants.
better.
I do too.
We can do that, and so, but it may push us back an extra month, because what we were actually voting on tonight was whether to approve this language. And so it would be a vote to modify this language and have me bring it back, and then we would vote on it at the next meeting once that language is approved and we can advertise it.
Correct.
May I bring up a topic? And I might
Please.
have done that last time we talked about this. Our current employee handbook sets this at 12 months. And so I think that this change should coordinate with an update to the employee handbook as well. So even if we do approve it, I would want to ask you all to not let it go into effect until the new employee handbook is approved by
So
the,
we could do it contingent upon an ordinance being approved to the same effect.
When does the
Do-
new employee handbook normally come out?
we are in the process of reviewing it. And it is my goal to have it to our department directors for review by the end of March. Granted, this is, the last version is 2011, so, so we'll see how that goes. The plan is to draft a handbook revision, have it reviewed by all of the department directors, by the city attorney, by the mayor, and then
It'll take a while.
propose it to city council. City council has to approve the handbook. So I am not at all against changing this, but I don't want to have a policy and a handbook disagreeing.
Right, I understand. Since it's been, what, 10 years or 11 years since it's been updated, you want to get as much as you can. Can we make that contingent on the new employee handbook being approved?
So, do we want to make it contingent on the whole new employee handbook being approved, or contingent upon just an ordinance to modify the handbook in the meantime, so that we don't have to wait years?
I think
Well, I have a question. I mean, with all of the changes with COVID, surely to goodness there's other changes in that handbook that
There are a
Policies
plethora of changes.
The
We've been
Policies
working
have
on changes to this
overruled.
handbook since I started 3 years ago.
then I wouldn't think
I mean,
that
it's
a new
gone through-
policy, as long as you posted it, it would be okay to go ahead and put it into effect, wouldn't it?
Then that would be
You
by
would
ordinance.
still have to do it by ordinance.
Yeah.
We would still have to do it by ordinance.
City
because
council, right?
It is
Okay.
currently by ordinance in the handbook. But we can run an ordinance to modify that for this particular circumstance.
Madam City Attorney, if this did conflict with the existing handbook, would the handbook be subservient to this?
No, because the ordinance, the handbook is approved by city ordinance. So this Civil Service Commission rule would be for purposes of the Civil Service Commission, but if somebody wanted a hearing, then they would still rely on that handbook. So, I mean, we're gonna have to do both of them. It's just a matter of
So we don't have a choice.
what order we go in, and I think we wanna at least have a recommendation from the Civil Service Commission first. So I think doing it with the change contingent on the ordinance approving it to modify the handbook is probably the way to go.
Would the ordinance, proposed ordinance, be available to city council at the March meeting?
So, first, we have to agree that we wanna make this change and what it's gonna say.
Right?
So,
Then
that
we
would
have
have
to
to be at the next month's meeting. Then we could draft an ordinance and go ahead and maybe approve that ordinance. I would say that would probably need to be at the next month's meeting. And have the Civil Service Commission review that and recommend it to the council. And then that would be whatever the next 2 weeks after that meeting.
So it'd be the April city council meeting.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the only way to do it.
Looks like bureaucracy.
I have one more question. So would it be applicable to everyone that has less than 12 months probation currently that's already employed, or only to new officers hired after the ordinance goes into effect?
That's a good
My
question.
thought would be to make it applicable to all, but if they've already exceeded their probation period, they would not be subject to it unless they're in that extra 12-month period.
I think you'd have to spell that out, wouldn't you?
I would be hesitant to apply it to anybody who had been hired before it became effective. Because, I mean, that's kind of a term of your employment.
I kind of agree with that.
Now, would this only applies to patrol officers and, I mean, would this apply to administrators in the police department?
No, sir. This is only for new hires.
Right, no, I mean like your dispatch. With the
No, sir, this is only for uniform personnel.
uniform personnel.
Yes, sir.
So the handbook wouldn't apply to all police department either, or this wouldn't apply to all the police department employees in the handbook.
Currently, we have two handbooks, and I think they're working to merge into one city handbook. Currently, there's a uniform handbook and a non-uniform handbook.
It would not be applicable to non-uniformed personnel, and our dispatch is not uniformed.
Right, okay, thank you. I
So
was
right
wondering
now-
why we didn't have a separate for uniform personnel, but now we do, got it.
So right now, in the meantime, the ordinance would just be to amend that provision in the uniformed handbook.
I'm on track now. So, I'll make a motion that we amend the proposed rule change in the Civil Service Commission. Well, I guess no, that wouldn't even be a Civil Service Commission rule. What are we, is this in our
So I think
rules?
if we want to amend this now, okay, so the revisions for consideration is this that I sent out, and it's just approval of how the change we are going to vote on. So what you would move is to revise the proposed language and have me rewrite it for you to consider it and approve it next month.
And that would incorporate certified versus non-certified into different periods, yeah.
And what you sent out on the 14th of January, that is what you were holding up, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So what we're needing a motion to do then is to approve.
Well, that's what I was trying to ask, is we don't have a motion pending on this, right?
No,
No, you're making one.
I will withdraw the rambling, motion earlier stated.
you're an attorney, we expect it.
Yeah. Well, I guess what hit me mid proposal was the order city attorney addressed, which is we need to go, if we're gonna propose this, which is what I'm trying to put on the table, is we need to amend our,
Draft rule change?
what are we amending? Rules and regulations,
So,
right?
correct, and that's
Yes.
all that the commission has the power to amend.
Correct.
So, once you decide what you want and vote on it, then you're gonna make a recommendation to the council that they adopt an ordinance that is consistent with this rule change
In the
for the
uniform
uniform
personnel handbook, right,
Right.
right, I'm just trying to get that first step. Okay,
But before we even get that far, Madam City Attorney has to change her draft, and we have to approve that change at our next meeting.
So
Just the
here's
way it
what I
works.
would say, Greg. I would say,
all ears.
I move to amend the proposed revised language to reflect that the probationary period for a newly appointed Maumelle uniformed employee of the police department be 1 year for a certified law enforcement officer and 2 years for other uniformed new hire employees.
Just in the police department,
Yes.
Yes.
correct.
Arkansas law says they can't have more than a year.
So moved.
Second.
Did anyone record that?
It's all
Mr.
recorded.
Secretary, did you get that?
They got their mics on, we got it.
All right,
Greg and Sheila.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. That opens another can of worms. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
We're made a step.
That's about all we can do.
I was looking at,
You can't do the next one, right?
no, I was thinking that we had a, difference in police officer 1 and police officer 2 and our promotion rank potential, but I don't think that's the case. It's not? Okay, then good. I don't have to worry about that. All right, yes, sir. It's in the works.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next item is going to be tabled until the
Can
next.
I make a
Yes,
suggestion
ma'am.
on this? In light of the fact that this is going to take a little bit, probably 3 or 4
Postpone.
months, I would love it if we could go ahead and consider adopting this and getting these published, because I get so many questions on things that we've changed. And then I'll re-revise it again, and we'll re-adopt a new one in 3 or 4 months when we finally work through this.
Okay, so what you're saying is you would prefer that we go ahead and vote on what you've already sent us.
Right.
I'll call it revision A, and hold off until we get the other process, the whole process done, and then you can revise and we'll vote on revision B, correct? Okay, so it's not tabled. I think y'all all got I think it's 25 pages. I read through every bit of it and talked about a couple of things with Madam City Attorney, but overall, I thought she pretty much caught everything up and nailed it. Does anybody have any discussion on, and hopefully you've had a chance to go through it. It's an ordeal, and it was even more of an ordeal to go through and rework it like Madam City Attorney did. Any discussion on that before we talk about a vote to approve?
Are we talking about the January 14th memorandum relating to the proposed rule changes?
I don't remember if I didn't bring that email with me, I just brought the revised changes. It had the attachment that was the 25 pages. I don't think it's not a rule change, it's just voting on the incorporation of the revised draft.
The rules and regulations.
We haven't published all of the revision with all the
It's been a
changes
while.
in a number of years.
Yeah, it
So
needed to be done.
it's tough for like police officers or firefighters who wanna go out on the website and look at the changes, and then I get questions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, that changed in 2019.
Right.
We just don't have it updated.
All we're doing tonight is voting to approve the updated, all this has already been done.
Okay, because I'm missing a step there, so I got it.
So
I know
Madam
I'm a new
City
guy.
Attorney has just gone in and
got
from
it.
the
Greg,
last
what date
time
do
this
you
was
think?
updated, incorporated all the changes that we've made. So that is what that current, I'll call it revision A for now, what that document is.
So we don't need to undo the motion we just passed.
No,
No, ma'am.
so it'll just incorporate everything up until
Just
tonight
checking.
that's been approved.
Right. What we do need to do is vote to, do we do that tonight or do we wait? Can we?
You can go at this, since this is not a rule change.
Right.
It's just the draft,
We don't have to
incorporating all the other
advertise.
changes. You don't have to do, I mean, you just are gonna approve it and we can then publish it.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and make a motion that after reviewing the draft update of Civil Service Commission rules and regulations, that the commission approve it. Now, we'll wait for a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Hey Greg, look on the 10th, January 10th.
You should have gotten an email with that as an
I
attachment.
don't remember it either.
That's why I'm sitting here in the dark. I don't recall getting a 25-page attachment. I did get a 2-page attachment.
I don't remember it.
But it is nothing new. All it's doing is
I'm fine with
updating,
posting
catching
the
up.
That's why I didn't make a motion.
Made quite a few changes last year.
It's everything since 2019. It's, you know,
Figures
when you
my
have,
pen will run out right in the middle of that.
when you have a new city attorney and we've had 3 HR directors,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a little bit to figure out like who's actually supposed to do what when, but going forward, we'll do our best to go ahead and update it every time.
It's been needed. I know it has.
Hey, it looks like it went to your cross-venture email on the 10th.
Do you have it? Did I get it?
It probably got
See how
spammed
she
in
was
and
spelling.
Probably.
Okay.
SHERILA.sharp@sbcglobal.net. And again, that was on the 10th, and we can resend.
Thank you so much.
We can resend it.
All right. Anything else before we go into executive session to formulate promotion questions? We'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to formulate, questions for fire department oral interviews.
So moved.
Have
Second.
a motion and a second, any discussion? None? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, any opposed, no. We are in executive session. All right, we have exited executive session. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. We are adjourned.
I'll send you the first thing in the morning.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun.
Watch it here.